Hey guys, I'm Anthony and today I'm going to teach you 7 copywriting tips especially for beginners who are brand new to the game and don't know what copywriting is, or they're constantly being bombarded with information and just don't know where to start. So, if you can understand these 7 tips and actually apply it, you're going to get more engagement on your blog posts, more likes on your social media, and most importantly, more sales for your landing page. Alright, let's get started right now. The first thing you want to do is you want to use the same language as your customers. What do I mean by this? Let's give a famous magazines, like for example, Cosmopolitan. The language they use is drastically different from everywhere else. For example, since it's catered towards female teenagers, they're going to use stuff like, dang, that guy is hot as, or even something like, OMG, I just can't believe he just cheated on her. And it'd be something more like gossip and stuff, where something like the National Enquirer, something that's more clickbaity, it'd be something like, shocking news. George Clooney's real name is not George Clooney, but ... Is it actually George Blooney? Or even something like, shock in the lock. Nessie is actually an eel. And yes, I've actually read that. Now, what happens is when you have your specific reading language, or reading lingo, whatever it is, it makes it 1, easy to understand, 2, much more fun to read, especially for these magazines, and 3, the biggest reason, it helps you empathize with the reader. Once you empathize with the reader, create a connection with them, they're much more likely to agree with you and actually listen to what you have to say. And that's especially important when you want to create either engagement for your social media or even sell them a product that you think that will help them. The second thing you want to do is you want to make sure you spend most of your time on your headline. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say you're going through YouTube videos. There's a reason why if the thumbnail doesn't catch you, that picture, and the YouTube title doesn't really grab your attention, no matter how good the video is, you're just going to skip through and then pick the one that interests you. Same thing with a Google search result. You're looking for solutions. So let's say, for example, I have a skin rash and I want a solution to a skin rash immediately. Now what's going to happen is, if I'm going through the Google search results and then I see something like solution to skin rash, I'm going to be much more likely to click that than something that's a bit more vague, like have glowing skin. It may solve you for the skin rash, but it doesn't really help me in my mind. And no matter how good the article is, I won't be able to know because I never clicked on it. Now, when you create your headline, you want to make sure that you don't create just like 1 or 2. I want you to create like 10, 20, 30, because the more headlines you create, the more variations you have, and it gets you out of the gutter of using the templates for the first 10 headlines, because you're going to have to start thinking out of the box, something that would actually grab the reader's attention. And the more headlines you create, the better you'll get, and the better chance that you'll be able to grab the reader's attention. Now there's 3 ways to make a good headline. 1 is to have a clear benefit. The second thing is to make it easy to read. And the third thing to do is, if you can, apply tips 1 and 2 and create some sort of curiosity-inducing kind of headline. So a lot of clickbaits use this, but basically it'd be something like, I can't believe I did this, or I shouldn't have done these things. But if you can do that, plus add a clear benefit, it's probably going to get the attention of the reader, right? Third thing I want you to focus on is, yes, sentence length matters. Yes, length matters. You want your sentences to be short, sweet, simple, and to the point. You see, whenever you write a sentence, that's why a lot of blog posts, a lot of the sentences are 3 to 5 sentences. Sometimes they even have 1-sentence paragraphs. Sometimes they even go 1-word paragraphs. What happens is when you break it up into 3 to 5 sentences, it makes it a lot easier to read and skim through. And it looks a lot less intimidating compared to a 7-sentence blog paragraph. And whenever it's broken up, they're much more likely to read. And if you're writing a blog post, for example, the longer they read, the better you look in Google's eyes, and the more traffic it'll probably drive to that page. You also want to do the same thing whenever you write for your product. What happens is whenever you make it short, simple, easy, and to the point, it's going to be a lot easier to read through your product, read the benefits, be like, oh wow, dang, this product is pretty good, and just keep going through the list without them breaking the flow or getting intimidated because they saw, a giant 10-sentence paragraph blog that doesn't look fun to read. And when they're much more likely to read through, they're going to read more of your product. And if you do it right, they're going to be reading more and more and more and get more excited for your product before they reach the end. And then you have a call to action, which brings us to our fourth point, which is you want to have a clear call to action. And this could mean a lot of things. For example, whenever you write a blog post, a lot of the call to actions is something like, leave a comment below if you found tip number 1 helpful. Or something like with an infomercial, call 1-800. That's right, call 1-800 right now and you get 2 for the price of 1. Right now, call now. And they repeat it multiple times because they know that the first time it's not gonna work, but you have to keep reminding the customers. Or something like a YouTube video, if you're enjoying the content so far, smash that like button gently. Because you never want to assume that the customers are going to do what they're going to buy your product or whatever. You have to tell them up front, because what happens is when they're watching your video, they're not going to really think about subscribing or liking your video. You have to tell them explicitly over and over and just keep hammering it. Yes, you may annoy some people, but the majority of them, they won't really mind. Same thing with buying a product. They understand that you're a business and you need to sell products to survive. The fifth thing I want you to do is I want you to think about the customer and be in their shoes. Every single sentence that you write, I want you to ask yourself, so what? That's right, just keep asking so what for each question, because what happens is the customers don't care about you. Yeah, I know, it's the harsh truth, but it's true. They don't really care about who you are, what you do, what your hobbies are, what your family. No, they care about what this product can bring value to their lives. What can it do to make them be like, damn, I should have got this product already. Why didn't I get it already? And every single sentence, you want to have some sort of benefit, some sort of reason why you want them to get this product or subscribe to a YouTube video or comment on your blog post all excited. You want to add something so that it'll be like, okay, yeah, this dude is pretty good. I'm enjoying his content so far. Let me do something about it. You want them to get excited with some sort of benefit or some sort of value you can add to their lives. Sixth tip I want you to do is to start using power words in your writing. Now, what do I mean by power words? It's just words that carry a lot of weight to them, a lot of emotional weight. For example, think of the words humiliate or disgrace. It's a lot more impactful than if you just say he's mean. Because we just have this already built-in image of what humiliate means. Or let's take, for example, running. Okay, we could think of a regular man just jogging through the street, but what if I said he sprinted, he dashed? Now we're starting to think more athletic. Or if I say something like he crawled, now that creates an image for me, just crawling through the movies like something's wrong, he's bleeding out or something. What happens is when you use power words, it creates a sort of emotional impact and it paints a picture in the reader's head. And when you can paint a picture in the reader's head, it creates a sort of emotional attachment. And you know that whenever people don't really buy with logic, they buy with emotion. If you can understand that one tip, you can see why power words are important, because power words don't really logically help you, but it really drives emotional power home. It just gets right into the nitty-gritty, into the heart, and it just draws a picture for them, and they can feel the emotions behind that word. That's why it's important to add power words to your writing. And the seventh and final tip I want you to do is I want you to read your copy out loud. Even better is if a friend reads it out loud for you. You see, when you read it out loud, you can pick up the nooks and crannies where the sentences just abrupts or just doesn't sound right or doesn't flow smoothly. Because when you read it in your head, yeah, you can pick out some few mistakes here and there, but it's not as powerful compared to reading it out loud. You see, what happens is when a customer reads through the writing, they're reading it in their head, but the way they read in their head is the way they talk. And if the way they talk and they're reading in and just doesn't flow smoothly like when you're talking out loud, then it's gonna break the flow and it might hurt your sales and conversions, because you want your sentences to flow smoothly. One after another, just keep going, just down the slip and slide, greasy river. All right, that's all for today. I hope you found something useful. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe below if you enjoy my content. All right. See you later, guys.